So let my life be the proof of your love. Let my love look like you and what you're made of. How you lived, how you died, love is sacrifice. So let my life be the proof of your love.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Some of you guys have been asking for me to do a video about my trailer, and I actually got sick while I was out on the road. This really sucked, and I still had to work through it, and you know, still had a load on my trailer and another one to pick up, and about 900 miles to make it home. But yeah, so it's been a little while without any videos, but we'll get right through it. The trailer I have is Big Tex 14GN. It's a 25 plus 5. So the plus 5 is the mecha ramps in the back right here. A lot of people have said like this is like the perfect non-CDL hotshot trailer. Now I disagree a little with that, because I don't really think there is such a thing as a perfect CDL or non-CDL hotshot trailer. Maybe a perfect CDL hotshot trailer. I mean, if you have your CDL, you can just get a 40-foot trailer with mecha ramps and you're set. But as for non-CDL, I don't really think there is such a thing as a perfect trailer for it. Let me start off with what I like about this trailer. So I've put 35,000 miles on it now, and you can look at the tires. They still got pretty decent tread on there. I think they'll last another 30,000 or so. I haven't had any problems with it. Everything is holding up pretty well. The deck is getting kind of used. You can see there's a couple spots like right here where the wood is getting up just a little bit higher. Not ideal, but nothing too bad to say about this. There is some rust starting to come up in a few areas in the front here, especially on the jacks, so you can start to see some wear, but overall I'm pretty happy about it. I've seen other trailers that right in here, like the welds will start to crack, things like that. That is really bad, and yeah, thankfully this trailer is not doing that. I think it's built pretty well. I really have not had any breakdowns with it or anything bad happen. I am gonna service it now that I'm home. The tires are gonna come off, and we're gonna go through the axles and grease the bearings and put everything back together, check the brakes, adjust them, make sure everything is good to go again. So I'll probably be doing that here after the weekend. It's Saturday, tomorrow is Easter, so I won't be working tomorrow. There'll be a cool Easter service out on the farm that I'm going to. But anyway, we'll keep talking about the trailer. So what I like about it is it's very versatile with the mecha ramps. You can put cars on here, you can put freight on there. It leaves you open for whatever kind of freight you might come across that you want to haul. This is good. I think to be successful in hotshot trucking, you need to be able to take anything you can, really. You can't be successful in hotshot trucking and be like, oh well, I don't like doing tarps, so I'm not going to do tarp loads, or I don't have any chains and I'm not going to do loads that require change here. You're not gonna be successful in hotshot trucking. You can't limit yourself. Like, you're already limited to, like, with this trailer I can haul a maximum of 10,000 pounds with my truck, and I do have a 100-gallon auxiliary fuel tank in my truck, so that's 800 pounds when it's full. But anyway, for me it is 10,000 pounds maximum I can haul on this. If you didn't have an aux fuel tank, maybe you could get almost 11,000 pounds out of this same trailer here. So you're not having your CDL, you're already limited, so you want to be able to haul as much freight that you can with you know, the limits that you already have. And overall, I think this is a pretty good trailer about it. But I'll tell you some things I don't like about it. And I'll start with the mecha ramps right here. I really do not like these mecha ramps. And here's why. Every time you go over a bump, these things are so low that you scrape the bottom of them. If you go to a residential area and there's speed bumps, you're scraping the speed bumps. You pull into a shipper and you have to go over like a little curb or something, you're scraping the bottom. Like, look at how bent up my license plate on the bottom is there. So far it hasn't done any serious damage to the trailer, but I really dislike it. The other thing about the mecha ramps, you can see there's this strap over it, and you have to keep this real tight because this is locked in place. It can't really go anywhere, but if you don't have that strap on there, it will bounce just a little and it makes a lot of noise going down the road. If you're not on a perfectly smooth road, this thing is bouncing up and down all the time. And that leads into another point. There's a lot of shippers that they won't put their freight on this back, on this last 5 feet. They'll load the rest of the trailer, but they won't want their freight sitting on the back. So do you really still have a 30-foot trailer? Well, not really if you can't use the last, sorry about the cars coming by here. Not really if you can't use the last, you know, 5 feet of your trailer. Which is why I thought these mecha ramps were going to be awesome, because you can still load it. And some things you can, you know, if you got a big load of lumber or steel or something, they don't care. But if it's machinery, equipment, things like that, lots of times shippers won't load it onto these mecha ramps. So then that leaves you with 25 feet of usable space. And so far I've only really had to use these mecha ramps 4 times. And that is in 5 months of hotshot trucking now. I've only used it 4 times. One time I had a pickup truck on here, one time an ATV, one time I had a bunch of golf carts on here, and the last one was actually not too long ago, was a stump grinder. You can see that one in one of my other videos. So that's it. I've never used it, or had to use it so far, except for those 4 times. So if I were to do this over again and get another trailer, I would probably get a 36-foot big tex trailer. These mecha ramps, they weigh a lot, so if I were to not get the mecha ramps, I could still haul about the same amount of freight and get a 36-foot trailer. That's just a flat deck, and I could load it up completely. It's going to be dependent on where you are. I have noticed on the East Coast cars pay a lot better, and there's more other rolling stock and freight to get. So maybe if you're in the Midwest or the East Coast, it pays off to have these mecha ramps. Where I am on the West Coast, cars don't pay anything. Even with a 3-foot wedge, you know, you're only gonna get paid 50 cents per car per mile. So it's just not worth it, and it's not what I want to specialize in anyway. So for me, if I were to do this over again, I would get a 36-foot trailer without mecha ramps, unless I were to get my CDL, and then I would just, you know, max it out. There's very few times where you actually gonna need the full 40-foot, so I would get the mecha ramps on a 40-foot CDL trailer if that's what I were to do. But for now, don't really have any money to buy another trailer, so that's not going to be in the near future. Other thing I have is a little extra box on here. I do like this one. It's nice, waterproof, keeps things dry in there. This leads me to another point that I don't like about this trailer. This is the front box. It's totally useless. I mean, look at these huge openings all the way across. There's so much water and dirt and crap is getting in there. And on the side here, like, look at these openings. Look at the opening over here. Like, it's useless. I wish they didn't even put it on there. It's just a waste of extra weight added to it. Like, it looks cool, but you wouldn't want to put chains in there or binders or straps. They're just all kind of rust and get dirty. You could maybe put a tarp in there or something that you know, that doesn't matter if it gets dirty. But if I were to get another trailer, I would see if I could get it without that box, or maybe put a better box on it. I don't know. I have a toolbox in the bed of my truck, and all my chains, straps, binders, everything is in there. So that's another thing I don't like about this. And then I did put a winch on it too. Now sometimes I'll end up buying cars at auctions that maybe don't run or whatever. So for me, this is a good thing to have. As for Hotshot trucking, I've never used it, so I wouldn't bother with it if you were thinking about that. I definitely would get a spare tire. Mine is mounted up there. So far I haven't had to change any tires on it, but I wouldn't want to drive on long trips without one. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up for this trailer. Like I said, if I were to do it again, I would get a 36-foot trailer. I could still haul about the same amount of weight. It's hard to find a good non-CDL 40-foot trailer. They're just, in my opinion, they're cutting too much corners on trying to keep the weight down for it to still be worth it. So I think 36 is the longest I would get. But maybe if you're over on the East Coast and cars pay more and whatnot, maybe a 30-foot with Macarams might not be such a bad option. You can definitely hotshot truck with this trailer if it's, you know, you're looking for something to get started with. It's a pretty good trailer. But like I said, if I did it again, I would go without the Macarams and 36 foot and just straight deck. If I had another 6 foot back here, I think that would really help out, being able to pick up more partials and make more money that way. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. Some things to think about when you're looking for a trailer, and maybe I'll do another video about the maintenance on it when I pull it in my yard and take it all apart. And if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know. And thanks for watching.
Let my life be the proof of your